Chances are you have heard of the terrifying jaguar warriors of Aztec culture. But Aztec military tradition is much more varied than just these remarkable warriors. War was a key component of Aztec society, dominating all aspects of life, including religion, politics, and the economy. As far as the Aztecs were concerned, war was not only a means of seizing territory and resources, but also a way of honoring their gods and securing the world's existence. The Aztec religion was profoundly bound up with war, with many of their gods representing warrior deities. The god of the sun and war, Huitzilopochtli, was the main Aztec deity and called for human sacrifices to sustain the solar cycle and prevent the end of the world. The Aztec warriors believed that taking prisoners for sacrifice was a sacred duty and a way of nurturing the gods. Apart from the religious factor, war was also crucial to the Aztec economy. Military achievements guaranteed access to prized resources such as food, precious metals, and tributes from subdued peoples. War was also a route to social mobility for the warriors, who could improve their status and prestige through battle deeds. Aztec society was based on war, with a complex and hierarchical military structure. Warriors were trained from a young age and underwent initiation rituals to become members of the different military orders. War was viewed as a livelihood and a source of honor for the Aztecs, with warriors revered as heroes. The roots of Aztec warrior culture stretch back to their Chichimex origins, nomadic peoples of northern Mexico well known for their fierceness and hunting skills. This cultural legacy profoundly shaped the way the Aztecs perceived war and the role of the warrior in society. This war culture was handed down to the Aztecs, who adapted it and developed it into a complex and refined military system. But Aztec warrior culture was not just a carbon copy of the Chichimex tradition. The Aztecs evolved their own tactics, weapons, and strategies of war, adjusting to the Valley of Mexico's conditions and the challenges of fostering an empire. Aztec warfare grew more organized, ritualized, and laced with religion, thus reflecting how complex was the society behind it. Aztec military training was a demanding affair, intended to physically and mentally prepare young warriors for the trials of combat and military life. This started at an early age, with boys being taught warrior values and the importance of war for Aztec society at home. Upon reaching adolescence, these young men entered military schools, such as Huitzilopochtli, where they were put through an intensive training regime. Physical activities involved running, swimming, strength, and agility exercises, along with learning hand-to-hand combat techniques and weaponry, such as the macahuitl, the spear, and the bow and arrow. Besides physical conditioning, the young warriors also received mental and spiritual training. They learned about Aztec history and mythology, the religious rituals attached to war, and the importance of taking prisoners to be sacrificed to the gods. Discipline, obedience, and respect for the military order were core values taught to the young warriors. Capturing the first prisoner was an important milestone, entitling the boy to wear certain insignia and garments. Taking part in successful military campaigns and showing bravery in combat were also acknowledged with honors and promotions. The Aztec military structure was hierarchical, divided into different warrior classes with specific roles on the battlefield and in society. Moving up the military hierarchy was contingent on merit and bravery in combat, with taking prisoners being a crucial factor for promotion. The top of the hierarchy consisted of generals and officers, tasked with leading the troops and plotting war strategies. They were drawn from the most experienced and skilled warriors, whose rank gave them great prestige and power in Aztec society. Underneath the officers were the seasoned warriors, who had already taken part in several military campaigns and captured many prisoners. They formed the backbone of the Aztec army, serving as platoon leaders and role models for the younger soldiers. Newcomers were warriors who were just starting their military careers and had not yet claimed any prisoners. They fought under the guidance of more experienced warriors and sought to prove their worth in battle to climb the ranks. Apart from these major classes, there were also warriors skilled in different kinds of combat, such as archers, swordsmen, and Eagle and Jaguar Warriors, members of elite military orders. Each of these fighters had a specific battlefield role, contributing to the Aztec army's strength and versatility. The Aztec military hierarchy was not stiff and allowed gifted and valiant warriors to rise through the ranks. This meritocratic structure motivated warriors to do their very best in battle, striving for glory and recognition from their peers and superiors. Aztec warriors were also known for their military orders, elite bands distinguished by their skills, bravery, and ritualistic expertise. The two best-known orders were the Eagle Warriors and the Jaguar Warriors, although there were others with varied prestige and roles in the army. The Eagle Warriors, or Huitzilopochtli, were known for their agility and speed, as well as their affiliation with the sun in the sky. Their outfits and armor were decked out with eagle feathers, and their helmets often mimicked that bird's head. They were elite warriors, leading raids and capturing prisoners for sacrifice. The Jaguar Warriors, or Ocelotl, were attached to the earth and the underworld. They were feared for their strength, savagery, and hand-to-hand combat skills. Their garments and armor were festooned with jaguar skins, while their helmets often represented the feline's head. They were shock warriors, charged with breaking through enemy lines and inflicting widespread panic. The Aztec warriors considered joining a military order to be a great honor, and belonging to these was a sign of status and prestige in society. Elite warriors were granted lands, titles, and privileges, and their achievements in battle were celebrated in poems, songs, and monuments. The Aztec military orders not only had a crucial warfare role, but also an important religious and symbolic significance. Each order was assigned to a god or set of gods, and their rituals and practices expressed this spiritual connection. The warriors believed that their skills and battle successes were the result of divine protection and aid, so joining the military orders was a way of honoring and serving the gods. Aztec warriors were equipped with different weapons and armor, each with a specific battlefield purpose. The weapons chosen depended on the warrior's class and his role in the army. Among the most iconic and feared weapons found in the Aztec arsenal was the macahuitl. This wooden sword was encrusted with sharp obsidian blades. They were made of an extremely sharp volcanic glass and could inflict ravaging wounds, hacking and tearing at the flesh of their enemies with savage efficiency. The macahuitl was an assault weapon, meant to shock and frighten the enemy ranks. For long-range strikes, the Aztecs used the pole, a versatile weapon that could be thrown at or used in thrusts. Featuring a wooden shaft and a sharp obsidian or copper tip, the pole was both effective at keeping the enemy at bay and dealing lethal wounds in close combat. Aztec archers were distance experts, using bows and arrows to hit the enemy on land and in their war canoes. Made of wood and endowed with obsidian, bone, or metal tips, the arrows were lethal weapons for skilled archers. The Aztec arsenal also featured the attire, a dark propellant that considerably enhanced the power and range of the throw. This resourceful weapon, used for hunting and warfare alike, allowed the Aztecs to throw darts with astounding accuracy and speed. In melee combat, the Cuajolali club was a vicious and effective weapon. Crafted from solid wood and topped with obsidian or metal spikes, the mace could crush bones and skulls, making it a much-feared weapon on the battlefield. While brutal, many of the Aztecs' weapons were not intended to be extremely lethal, as one of the main goals of their military forays was to take enemies who would be enslaved or handed over as sacrifices to the gods. On the other hand, armor and shields not only provided physical protection, but also served as status and power symbols, highlighting Aztec society's complex military hierarchy and the significance of warfare. The primary armor of Aztec warriors was the Huitzilopochtli, a cotton-padded garment that protected against impact weapons such as maces and axes, as well as against projectiles like arrows and darts. This armor was donned by different warrior classes and could be lavishly decorated with symbols and insignia that denoted the warrior's rank in the military hierarchy and his battle achievements. Known as chimali, the shield was crucial to protecting the Aztec warrior. Made of wood, it varied in shape and size and could be round, rectangular, or diamond-shaped. Apart from its protective purpose, the chimali was also a platform for artistic and symbolic expression. It was adorned with badges and patterns that stood for the warrior's social class, his military order, and protective deities. The elite Aztec warriors, like the Eagle and Jaguar Warriors, wore elaborate helmets called Cuajolotli, made of wood and garnished with feathers, animal skins, and other materials. These helms not only offered head protection but also stood as status and power icons, frightening enemies and extolling the warrior's bravery and importance in Aztec society. The Aztecs' war strategies and tactics were complex and effective, blending careful planning, strategic maneuvers, and battlefield shock tactics. Military campaigns were preceded by religious rituals and consultations with the gods, looking for divine guidance and protection. Before launching a campaign, the Aztecs undertook painstaking planning, including land reconnaissance, assessing enemy strength, and defining military objectives. The priests and military leaders sought the gods in rituals and sacrifices, looking for omens and advice for the war. The Aztecs were experts in sieges, ambushes, and sneak raids. They were also adept at harnessing the terrain to their advantage, using rivers, mountains, and forests to surprise and isolate enemy forces. In the battleground, the Aztecs employed shock tactics, launching mass attacks by Eagle and Jaguar Warriors, attempting to break through enemy lines and induce panic. Armed with spears and macohuatls, the light infantry followed, seizing the gaps left by the elite warriors. Besides military force, the Aztecs also resorted to diplomacy in pursuit of their goals. They formed alliances with neighboring city-states, offering protection and benefits in return for military support and levies. This strategy helped the Aztecs expand their empire and cement their regional power. The Aztec warriors' legacy echoes in contemporary Mexican culture. The strength, courage, and discipline of these fighters are still revered and celebrated in modern Mexico. The image of the Aztec warrior, with his unique weaponry and armor, is a powerful symbol of Mexican identity and its fertile cultural legacy. Aztec art and iconography, with their portrayals of warriors in combat, still inspire Mexican artists and designers, perpetuating the warrior's memory and legacy. The Concheros dance, a Mexican folk tradition, is a prime example of how Aztec warrior culture survived and adapted over the centuries, fusing indigenous and Christian elements to celebrate identity and resistance.